time for the Epic Engagement Experience. Hello, my name is RJ Redden, and you already know me, but you don't know the lady beside me, and I'm here to fix that for you because your life's going to be better when you know this lady. What impresses me so much about Joyce is that she has a very specific target market. She has a very specific things that she does. I run into coaches and other people all the time. I serve everybody. I do everything. You must be broke. Because that is not the way to go. But Joyce is an inspiration and a delight, and I know that you're going to think so too. Joyce, how are you? Tell us everything.
Well, I'm very excited because in 1, 2, 3 days, I go to Norway with my husband on a group tour, 11 days, counting travel days, organized through our college, where we actually the Alumni Association of the University of Wisconsin in Madison. And so we'll be with 21 Badgers, as they call us, graduates of the University of Wisconsin, and randomly 6 people from the Naval Academy. I don't know if they had to hit a certain threshold and they like just kind of found these people. So I'll report back. And we go to Oslo, Bergen, and up to the Arctic Circle, where I've never
Oh,
been any of these places. So I'm pretty excited to go to Norway because my mom was half Norwegian, and I've always thought it was a beautiful place. Plus, it's my half birthday today.
oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's cool. In our family, I grew up and we would honor half birthdays, and my kids, we talk about their half birthdays. So my actual birthday is June 20, I mean, it's December 22nd. Though I have a fake birthday on Facebook, but that's another conversation.
Oh,
But
that
this is
that's
it.
we go everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, well, and if you're in Oslo, there is a certain museum that has a wall a mural that was done by Edvard Munch. You know, the guy that did the Scream.
Yeah, I think we're going there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, take pictures and send me. That's
Okay.
my favorite painting in the world. I haven't seen it live yet.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
so beautiful. I loved the way he painted. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking business. We'll get there, everybody. So tell the people what you do. Let's start there.
What my service offering is for most people is a 2 session package on LinkedIn to help the business owner primarily, but also some job seekers, to get their profile looking ship shape. I've had people say, "Oh yeah, I've been working on my profile. I think it's good." And we go through it one by one. Oopsie, not so good. So that's the first hour of the 2 session package. So the second session, each being an hour, is where we just dive in to what to do on LinkedIn, how to post, what to post, how to engage, how to find things to engage with, items to people, how in searching, how to find your referral partners, maybe your clients, but more often a referral partner, how to go through a few settings and make your life better, especially the notification settings, so you aren't getting a gazillion emails from LinkedIn. And when you go to your little bell icon, you actually have stuff you want to look at. Just in the last 2 days, I've had people say, "What's the point of LinkedIn? I really don't understand why somebody would be on LinkedIn as a business owner." And that's really good because it takes me back to the basics. And I wrote a blog post that will be coming out shortly after this recording is done that really addresses why to be on LinkedIn. Because you can brand yourself, you can share your expertise, you can hang out with peeps that you know already and find new peeps to hang out with. And you sure can rank a whole lot better in a Google search. So that's really the second part is so important because without doing that, you can have this like really pretty little, like you have this beautiful dress and you went to the dance, but you don't know how to dance. Da, 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 da. You got to get some dance lessons. So that's my offering.
Yeah, that's great stuff. I mean, I've been shouting about LinkedIn to anybody within the sound of my voice for about 6 months now, because when I went over there, I kind of Facebook and I had a breakup. So it was messy, darling. Anyway, we had a breakup, and I went over to LinkedIn. Um, it was like, oh, they want us to talk about our business. Like they encourage certain things, like when you and I were talking when we were chatting. You pop up a newsletter and they will invite people for you. Like
Mhm,
it's so
mhm.
opposite to all of the other networks, and none of which are even worth my time anymore at this moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And you do this for a very specific crowd, yes?
Yes, indeed. Now, I will accept people not in this group, but as you said in the introduction, I have an avatar. I have a target market, and those people are 55 and older.
Okay.
So who are these people? These are the tail end of the Gen Xers, and then all the boomers, baby boomers that are born between 64, or I should say 48 and 64.
Yeah.
So that gets us up really into, some are turning 80 in the 80s, right? The 46 people, think about it. I'm born in 48. That's the other thing. These are my people.
Yeah.
And I can slow down. Yes, I can. I actually take notes without artificial intelligence because I just don't want to go there yet. And I take handwritten notes and I type them up into a Word document and send them with the invoice to the person. And I've had people, when I meet in person, have like little folders and things with all my notes, like a little like cliff notes kind of. And people love that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people don't want to fool with that age group. They don't have the patience. They just don't
Right.
want to bother. So it works well because I'm older and they're older, and it's good.
Well, and there's a certain, with me, with my age group, I'm a titch lower. I'm on the Gen Xer side. Dealing with that age group, there's a certain language, there's a certain feel, and and how to connect is a little bit different. But when that age group that you're shooting for, it frees you up almost. It freed me up to be more expressive. Like I use a lot of gifts and different things in my
Mhm.
marketing and in my community and all that kind of stuff. What am I using gifts of? Oh, shows that were huge for Gen X. I mean, right?
Mhm.
Uh, and
Mhm.
and so knowing your people and knowing and customizing your service providing to be lovely and pleasing to those people, that's the
Mhm.
secret sauce right there, isn't it?
Yeah. One thought I had as you were talking is I was teaching LinkedIn to a mixed age group, and we were talking about the invite to connect. Now, I'm a big believer in sending a note. You can do it from your smartphone. It's not hard. You do have to click on some dots and it takes a few steps. But at any rate, this one younger woman, maybe late 30s, 40s, said, "Oh, I don't like notes. Whenever I see a note, I always think it's a salesperson." It's got, in truth, if you think of who sends you notes, if you go and look at your My Network, a lot of them are people hitting you up to purchase their services. However, older people, in my opinion, like the note because they haven't grown up on like Instagram, Twitter, right? Where you cannot send a note, right? So people are like, well, I'm going to accept or not. They're used to that. Facebook, right, right? So no, LinkedIn, you can send a note. Like, why not? You met them at the Chamber of Commerce, you met them wherever, you met them in an online networking group, reacquaint them with you. So you'll have a better chance of being accepted by somebody, say 55 and up.
You know what? I would even extend that, Joyce.
Down
I
to
would
maybe 40, 45, and to maybe almost the Gen Xers as well.
mhm.
Do you think? That's probably true if you think about it historically. Because, my daughter Anne is just right on, she's one of those exennials, because she is born December of 80. So she's right there on that cusp. And I think should ask her, I think she likes notes too. But there's others that just won't. And the other thing I got just yesterday from this client, she said, I hate it. All these people are sending me emails. I don't want to deal with these people. And I said, you know what I think you should do? Block them. In fact, the woman that came in the email is my client. And I said, I know she's a nice lady, but she just had a bot or somebody send you this very generic email. Maybe you want nothing to do with her. What good is she to you? What good can you be to her? It sounds very extreme. I have blocked, honestly, RJ, probably close to 1,000 people.
I think it's lovely.
I just don't want anything to do with people like, oh, I can get you to six-figure income. I am married to a guy with a pension. Our house is paid for. I don't even want a six-figure income. So just leave me be, right?
Exactly. Well, gosh, I was just on maybe an hour ago. My friend Tom Ruich and Dean Isaacs, they put on a thing every month called 5 and 25. And they were talking about exactly this subject that people spam people's inboxes all the time with. And this Tom was bringing up a person who had sent him something that described in great detail. It sounded like a brochure, honestly. Described in great detail this piece of equipment, and Tom writes back, "Why do I need this piece of equipment?" Like the guy forgot to. He included every detail except why Tom should be interested.
That's
And
a conversation stopper.
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, exactly.
well,
Wow,
and for me,
interesting.
I would even say, you said that that's the age group that really appreciates a note. I would say, even, extending down into my range as well, people are starting to appreciate notes, not because necessarily that's how they grew up, but that's how they're telling the spammers from the non-spammers,
True.
you
Although some
know?
spammers can write kind of well-crafted notes, but you read it carefully and you go, I bet he says that to all the girls.
I bet he says that to all the girls. That is exactly what's going on. So, like, when I do it, I go hit up that person's profile and I pick something out that's interesting, and if I
There you
can't,
go.
I
Nice.
don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Be
don't connect.
real. Like they're a real person over there.
Oh, I know.
Exactly. The other thing that just came up yesterday, I'd like to address just briefly. She was looking through her news feed with me, and she's in this company with a large company. I'll just say it's a business broker company. And now she's connecting to be nice because she wants to get to the 500, which is good, with all these other people who do what she does. And that's all this stuff she's getting. I said, are you sure that's a good idea to connect with? I said, you can stop following. I said, for that matter, so and so, you don't even have to read your newsfeed. I mean, there's another kind of like big statement, right?
Right.
Well, maybe what I say is read it selectively. Unfollow the people who are on it unknowingly, often saying stuff you have no interest in that has no connection to you. Don't necessarily block them or even disconnect, but just like in Facebook or anywhere, you can just get them out of your stream of people. And I say, just go to the people you know well and see what they're up to, because she's resisting spending any time on LinkedIn. So I'm saying, well, okay, then that seems like that's just a waste of your time. Just go randomly scrolling through your news feed, and go and give them some love.
Yeah.
Just say, go look at their stuff. And I think people have this attitude of like, what am I getting out of it? Where if you come into LinkedIn with a spirit of generosity, and what can I help people with today? What just happened to me that was so sweet that maybe somebody else might say, oh, maybe I'll do that. Like I had, this sounds so basic, coffee in person. Like, okay, this is a big deal. Well, kind of as we come to COVID, and we've done so much like this, but like in person, oh, do we have to? Oh my God, how far is it? So we got together in person. It was 8 a.m. Not my favorite time, mind you, but we went to my favorite coffee shop and we just had such a sweet, like 45-minute, just like when I talked with you, just loving and in depth. And then we had this picture taken. And then I put this up. I had like 500 views on LinkedIn of that. Look,
Yeah.
it was my best performing post on Instagram of late. And people say, oh, I love to meet in person. I know this sounds, sometimes what seems so basic is a good reminder. So you can
Yes.
post about business kind of in general, not just about your subject matter expertise. I mean, that's important too. But I find that those posts, and like when I broke my wrist, I actually decided to go public about that. It was my right wrist, my dominant hand. This was 2 years ago. And every time I hit a milestone, I put like I was driving again. You'd think I was 16 and just got the license, There I am behind the wheel. And to this day, people say, how's your wrist?
Yeah.
So I think there's sometimes when it's really impacted your life,
Mhm.
You know, it's okay to go into LinkedIn, sporadically on that. I saw a lovely post on dads, a woman, a picture of her and her dad. They were estranged for 20 years. He died last year. And she
Mm.
was talking about when she was with her dad, the lessons he taught her. And then she asked, what lessons did you learn from your dad? How did your dad imprint himself? What are you like because of your dad? Oh my God, you just want to cry. And it took me right back to my dad who could talk to anybody anywhere about anything. And so can I. So isn't that sweet? To think how LinkedIn isn't just for kind of stuffy, interesting, but kind of practical stuff that maybe other people aren't always interested in.
It's true, and I think that, LinkedIn just got a reputation early on, it got a reputation for only HR people search this site, and
Yeah.
then, after that, it kind of got the reputation of, stuffy suits, you know?
Like we're all in the
Um
boardroom together. These are old analogies, but we're really at the water cooler. Not quite at the bar. This is maybe a really, some people used to compare. They said LinkedIn is like the boardroom, Facebook's like the water cooler, and Twitter's like the bar. You can keep telling the same story, over and over down the line of the people sitting there. So I would disagree. I think LinkedIn is more like a water cooler. Yeah.
It's it's really mixing because, people are fleeing, from the other social networks, Twitter, people are fleeing from Twits, we just, and Facebook as well, and so it really is becoming more of a mixed environment all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I know that, if you would have told me a year ago, that my cape and goggles would be welcome on LinkedIn, I would have looked at you like, I'm not super sure about that. But it's really, really been good to me and for me.
That's great.
Um, yeah. So in all of the stuff that you do for your clients and your pre-clients, let's say, how do you
Yeah.
engage? How do you engage your people?
Such a good question. I do, like when I've met with someone that might be a client or with no potential clients, I do always or often post about the experience, like the lady at the coffee shop on Tuesday. And of course, I would tag her and then, track back and forth. I can, one thing I've developed recently through with the help of a business coach is one of those kind of ABC kind of things. So with people, one thing you can do is set up a schedule like an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheet where you can say, okay, this is when I'm going to reach out to so and so. I could think, oh, I'm going to go and check their LinkedIn, see what they posted lately. So I think you can do it in a structured way. I think also after an event and everybody was kind of kumbaya together, I try to have a picture taken like when I do a training and then put the picture up of the group. Again, tag the people or mention them as the technical term in LinkedIn. So that way that draws them in. And I really watch my notifications carefully to see what other people are up to. It's hard to be in touch with everybody. If
Yeah.
there's people I'm especially interested in, then I'll go. And then I think that's how this works in all the social networks. There's an algorithm kind of thing. People are served up to you in your newsfeed. So when you do open it, and you'll see maybe the first 3 or 4 items are people you actually know and are interested in. So some of it is a bit organic and random, I will say. So those are some things that I do. This isn't necessarily directly social media, but I run a meetup group, and it's called Simplify Your Social Media. So, and you'll love this. My speaker on July 11th is on Zoom, is authentic AI strategies for marketing and content. So at any rate, what I did with, we'll call them these A people, like 12 or 15, whatever they were, I sent them an email about a week before the June meeting, actually. And so I told them about the July and the June meetings. So I try to think of ways to give value to people I know that might want to come or haven't come lately, or they might want to refer people to that. What kind of layer on, activities. And yeah, and also if I know they're more active on Facebook, I am on Facebook. So I do track with them there. That is a newsfeed. Actually, I will scroll through for, I don't know, 10 or 20 or whatever listings to, maybe somebody had their baby or, they have their trip to Norway or, you know, whatever. So then I do go over to Facebook for things like
Yeah.
that too. And Instagram. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sort of normally I don't post as much on either one. I hardly ever really post on my personal. I post more on my business
Sure.
side of Facebook. Yeah. So
Yeah.
those are just some thoughts how I approach it.
I know that, of the time that I spend on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
it is 10% posting, 90% DMs.
Yes, or
That's
DMs or engagement. Yeah,
yeah.
you could use some of each. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And
Because the
and
share, the sharing. Here's a little trick: when you share a post or repost, they also call it, with your opinion. When you do that, now you can, you know, in the profile there is something called featured, and you can feature. I just recently featured something of Katie Brinkley related to social media. It was really good, and it was out of her newsletter. You were talking about the newsletter, so I featured it on my profile page, not my business page, my profile page. So if people come across my page, I should say my profile, they'll see this piece by Katie. Now that's a cool thing to know. Then if you comment though, that gives more energy to the post. That brings it up. There's a whole story bumping concept, as I understand it. So when there's more and more and more people commenting in a post, it might run again, just hits more eyeballs. So
yeah.
you're giving it more love. Plus, you're hanging out there with other people. Now, granted, they might have gone to the setting to turn off, so they put up their little 2 cents, right? And say, I don't care about anybody else's 2 cents, right?
Right.
Which exactly I've done on occasion if it got overwhelming. But otherwise, you kind of like randomly can meet people who are the poster is your kind of common connection, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by engagement, you know, the commenting and the sharing or reposting. But yeah, direct messaging is great too, because then, you know, somebody will come up on LinkedIn, like, oh my God, there's Susie. I've been wanting to get in touch with her. And then you just send her the message, you know? It's
Yeah.
very handy.
I like the DMs because that's a place where the algorithm, I don't have to worry about it.
Oh no, not
Yeah.
at all. Yeah, yeah. I think that makes sense. And here's a thing to do. You kind of run a risk of the spammers and stuff, but in your providing services page, I know it's getting kind of granular, but that's if you click on open to, we think like I'm looking for a job. No, you're not looking for a job, you're a business owner. But then one of the other options is providing services. And there's a setting, I believe it's within there, pretty sure, that you can say, I'm open to getting messages from anyone on LinkedIn. In other words, people do not have to pay to message me,
Right.
right? So try it, and hopefully you'll. And if you get a lot of crap, then just block those people. But someone could, you know, sort of kind of get through who doesn't have a paid account but wants to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Just saying. And the other
Yeah.
thing I've been thinking a lot about is creator mode, because
Oh,
creator
yeah.
mode is so wonderful. You get those hashtags, you get the hyperlink to your anywhere on the internet, and you call it what you want. And then you have the newsletter, as you've referenced, so many tools. But I was in a word for the longest time, RJ, about the follow button. And I just helped my client, I think it was today, my morning client. And I said, she was worried. She ran into it with somebody. I said, don't worry. You aren't limited to following that person. We could tell they had creative mode on. You can click on more and you will see connect. See, it's a drop down option. But I was concerned that my 55 and up crowd wouldn't figure that out. So at any rate, but then there's another workaround when you really think about it. There's a setting in notifications that has to do with whether when people follow you, do you want LinkedIn to ping you through notifications? So all you have to do is go over there, find that section. I think it's under the connection part, which makes sense. And then you see, oh, so-and-so followed you. Oh, look, there's so-and-so. I wonder who he is. And you can go over and look at him or her. And then you think, oh, we should. I'm not a diva. I don't want to only be followed. I want to be connected with that person.
Yeah.
So then go ahead and ask them to connect. So those are just a lot of things to think about. But I think creator mode is one of the best things they've done for us lately.
It really has. I mean, I think it helps a lot of people shine that wouldn't otherwise have that opportunity. So I put a couple of links here I put some in the chat, and I put some across the bottom as well. And this is something that might be of interest to folks who want to really get some more of Joyce's knowledge. Can you talk to me about the 9 ways to stand out on LinkedIn?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Actually, let me pull up that actual document briefly so I can sound like a smarty pants here. Um, so 9 ways to stand out on LinkedIn, I created even before Microsoft bought LinkedIn. I mean, way back. That's like 7 years ago.
It was
I
a
think
while
that's
ago, yeah.
I want to say 17. At any rate, so it covers things like how to use your URL. Up at the top of your profile, it'll say like Joyce hyphen Feustel hyphen ABC 2586, XYZ. Well, you are not branded, right? That you can have up to 100 characters in that URL. So that's what I show them how to do. Maybe you have an email address that's a Yahoo account. Heaven knows AOL, who knows? But an email you don't even use hardly anymore. But that's the one showing out in the custom info section. So I point that out to people. And just also, is everything showing up on your profile? Sometimes people have limited their profile viewing to only their LinkedIn connections or maybe their LinkedIn network, but you want it public. And you want every section to be enabled to be shown.
Yeah.
And then I go into recommendations, how important they are, and then also invites that we've talked about, how to make an invite effectively, how to deal with pending invites, so you can actually go in and ask somebody, why in the heck you reached out to me? And then the final part has to do with the value, stuff we've been talking about right now, the value of sharing posts on LinkedIn, articles, how they're different from posts, although they're kind of going away for some because they've moved into newsletters, as we've
Yeah.
discussed, and engaging. So all of that is in my 9 ways to stand out on LinkedIn, and there's text as well as a little video for each one of those basic concepts that I just listed.
Nice.
Mhm.
Well, everybody get a hold of that. Get a hold of some wisdom today. I want to thank you for coming by, Joyce.
Hey,
It's been a pleasure to talk
I
some
just
LinkedIn with you.
yeah, it's so much fun. You're such a kindred spirit. I truly appreciate you, RJ. Yay.
Thank you so much. Guys, gosh, well, everybody, same bot time, same bot channel next week. Also, if y'all are free on Wednesday, about 3 o'clock Central Time, we're doing power networking. Come join us. Free networking group, fun, fabulous, and I bounce the pitch slappers. So you can feel free to come in and join us. That's powernetworking.live if you want to register. And yeah, if you feel like now's the time for LinkedIn, there's just nobody better that'll take care of you than Joyce.
Oh, thank
So
you.
go talk to her. And thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.